no matter how bad was your childhood or your marriage or whatever it is, it's just a memory of the past.
Hello and welcome to Self-Talk. I'm Rachel Astarte. Today, my guest is Judith Costa. She is an unconditional love coach, seminar leader, writer, and speaker with a master's degree in analytical psychology and psychotherapy and an MBA. She's a certified consultant and teacher of the Akashic Records, a Reiki Master, and a certified happiness trainer. Judith, thank you so much for being on Self-Talk.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Rachel. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah, I'm very excited about our subject today, which is the self and loving the self. So before we get into all that, I wonder if you could share with us, how did you get into this field? What was your calling?
I will say that I didn't love myself at all. I didn't even know that my problem was that I didn't know who I was or how to really love myself. And it's exactly about the topic of the podcast. We were talking before about how we talk to ourselves. And I'm very analytical and I was very critical. I didn't realize that I was trying to improve my life, but judging myself, not from a place of love, not from a place of understanding or just acceptance that it's the first step to change something. Then what was happening is that when you don't like your reality, there is a moment where you may shut down. And I was depressed. My relationship with my husband was not where I wanted it to be. I didn't like my job, even though I was successful and I have my own company. But what I do right now is my passion. Then life put me in a spot where there was no way out. Then I had to start looking for answers. And this is what I did. Start reading and studying more. All these credentials that you just read is because I really love to learn, and I had to learn things to change my life, to transform it to the point where I am. And I became a certified coach, and I moved to the US. I am originally from Barcelona, where I did the master in psychology and all of these things. Well, I had a different job, totally not connected with anything I do nowadays, but I have been in the US for 11 years doing what I do and helping others to have a better relationship with themselves. And what changed my life really was the concept of love, the concept of true love, unconditional love. And I helped people find true love, their soulmates. That was the beginning of my career here as a coach. And I very soon realized that one of the reasons why people are not happy in relationships is because they don't love themselves. They cannot find love because there is no love. And you cannot share what you don't have. It's really difficult. You don't recognize the love from others if you don't have it for yourself.
Yeah. That's a great point. When we talk about love, you said love was the thing, right? That changed your path. I know it's a huge subject. What does love mean to you? What is it about love that's so healing?
Love is everything. Love is my everything. Love is my philosophy of life. Love is what guides my actions. Love is what I feel, not for people I love, for everything that exists. Love is the energy that moves the universe. Love is what connects us all. Love is, and the rest is like exist, but it's something we create. I teach a class also on how to manifest your desires, and people say, but why are you teaching this when your core business is self-love and love and unconditional love? Because the energy from where you can create, you can manifest anything is love. That's the power really that makes you feel connected at the point where you feel this inner joy within yourself that tells the universe that you are ready to receive, that you deserve. Then it's very connected with self-love, with what we call self-love, that it's this unconditional acceptance for who you are, independently that you can be a mess. Your life can be in chaos, but you still can love yourself as you are. And there is always room for improvement.
That's such a beautiful point. We like everything can be a mess and you can still have that love. That's what sustains us through these difficult times.
Exactly. You don't need self-love when everything is perfect and you're thriving and your life is wonderful. You need to love yourself, especially when things are not working the way you want, when you are not there. And we tend to then start criticizing ourselves. We don't like the reality, then we say, I don't want to play life. I mean, I don't like this. I have bad luck. We blame others. We blame the circumstances. Then it's not. It's all about you and what you can do. You have control. You're not powerless. You have control over your life. And there are many things that you can do to transform it. Slowly, step by step.
Right. It's very hard to think of that as like, how do I go from, and you've experienced this, how do you go from not loving yourself or not even being aware that you could love yourself or whatever that means to actually doing it? Not, and in your case, not only doing it, but teaching others how to do it. That's a big leap.
It's a process, but the fun thing about the process is like there is a lot of rewarding moments. People think I teach mostly how to, because a lot of people say what you say, like, I want to transform my life, but I don't know how to start. I don't know what to do. Then the idea is that you don't have to arrive to a place where I kind of what we say, no, I'm going to be happy when I have the house, the job, the resources. No, you can be happy now. Then every step of the process has to have something important in it, and it has. Every book you read, every podcast you listen, every session that you have with a coach or a therapist, change your life, change your perspective, may help to change your mindset. Then I invite people always like, do it on your own way, but do something about it. Take action. You don't know what to do. Okay, the universe will provide. If you ask for help, you will find resources, people, signs, or information that will help you.
Yeah, that's such an important point too, because it's almost as though once we decide that that's the path we want to be on, doors begin to open almost magically, you know.
And you mentioned about what is love, and let me say what love is not about.
Okay, great.
Because we have an idea that love is conditional. This is what we learn since we are children. Like people tell us, especially authority figures, like, I'm not gonna love you because you're not a good girl. Or unless you behave, I'm not gonna love you. I'm not gonna give you what you want, or you're gonna be punished. Then we tend to start like figuring out in our minds that in order to be accepted, in order to be loved, we have to be a certain way. We have to be the way our caregivers or caretakers or friends or peers or they want, because then they're gonna like us. And we want to feel accepted. We want to feel loved. We have all this, we are social beings and we want to be connected with others. Then we have this first part of the programming, I will say, that says you cannot be you, authentically you, because then you're not going to be loved. And we start shifting in order to be in a relationship. I tend to do that in my both marriages. I abandon myself to be the person that I thought I had to be to be in that relationship, to keep it alive. Then we have all this idea since the beginning, what you hear in radio and TV, in songs, what people told you, that love is conditional. I am with you, I love you, until I stop being with you, then I stop loving you. Then I like you if you are the way I want. And if not, I stop liking you, then goodbye. But that's not love. That's a different thing. Love, true love is unconditional. Even soulmates have a bond of eternal love between them. That's the real meaning of a soulmate. Then when you understand that love is a decision that you make, and you decide to love yourself every morning when you get up because you choose to do that. You choose to treat yourself in a specific way, with kindness, with understanding, with more love every day. But you decide that. Nobody has to tell you that you deserve to be loved.
And that's really hard. That's really hard for people who, as you mentioned, when our caregivers, our parents, our teachers, our coaches, whoever it is that we're listening to as children, are telling us we're not enough, or are being really quite abusive and telling us we're ugly, we're stupid, we're whatever, I wish you were never born. I mean, these things happen, right? This really is a difficult pattern to undo. Now we know it's possible. Thank you to
neuroscience.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, neuroscience and neuroplasticity of the brain. We can change how we think. But it's also, I believe it's also a feeling. It's also a bodily experience to understand that you are connected to everything. And and as you said earlier, love is what holds the fabric of the universe together. I believe love is what created us all. And
Yes.
So we carry that within us, and the capacity to love and to love ourselves. So I often say with my patients, if you love anything else, then you can love yourself. If there's anything else, even your dog or your cat or whatever, or a niece or nephew, you can love. So there's no reason why you can't put that on yourself or return that love to yourself, except for all those obstacles that we just mentioned. That is part of the coaching process or the therapy process.
Yeah, but a lot of people think that because I had this experience in my past, I have this trauma, then it's going to control my present and my future. And again, letting go, that is something that unfortunately nobody tells us about, how to release things, how to really overcome obstacles, how to forgive. Mm-hmm. Then if you don't pay attention to everything you have been carrying, like all the disappointments, all the pain, all the suffering, all the abuse, all of these things are still in your system, it's very difficult to move forward because it feels heavy.
Yes.
And there is a moment where through an illness or a crisis or whatever it is, you have to stop and do it. But why, if we can learn how to release in the moment? You have an argument with someone, okay, then choose to let it go. Mm-hmm. It's not such an important thing. We take things personally when we shouldn't. Mm-hmm. Maybe someone didn't say hello to you. Okay, and what is the problem? Maybe the person didn't even see you or has her own problems. Then it's fine. Mm-hmm. In the moment we learn how to forgive, how to release, we stop carrying all these past events with us. Mm-hmm. And this is very first liberating. You are free to be then. You're free to be a new you. But also the understanding that no matter how bad was your childhood or your marriage or whatever it is, it's just a memory of the past. Mm-hmm. And again, the power that we know that the brain has nowadays mm-hmm. to create new paths, new neurocircuits where you reinforce something different, for example, the love for yourself, and you start understanding at a physical level, but also at an emotional level and a mental level all together, that maybe that was something that you experienced, but it's not who you are. Mm-hmm. You are much more important than that. Mm. You are here with an essence that is pure love, is pure unconditional love that will take you to a different space. As a human, yes, you are having a lot of pain and maybe the world is in chaos and there is a lot of suffering, but you are made of a different substance. And if you connect with this essence, if you can really shift between this human being that you are and the love that you have at your core, you will understand that your soul has had a journey with many, many different incarnations, with many different stories that have happened to you, as in your essence. But they are just stories. They are just opportunities to improve your life, to transform, to be more loving.
Right.
You learn how to love by loving.
Right. And it sounds like what you're saying is one of the obstacles we have to this awareness is holding on to the past and holding on to the trauma and owning it as ours.
Yeah. We become so attached to it that we believe that it's who we are. Mm-hmm. Then we become attached to something that we didn't want to experience in the first place.
Yeah.
And then we carry it all our lives with us. And we live and live it again and live it again and live it again because we don't know how to take it out of the system. We don't even think that it's possible. We don't even want, because it's part of our identity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't know anything different because that's the patterning we've received, right?
Yeah, but there is a lot of things that you can do. Lot of things that you can do.
But yeah, when we start the process, it seems so strange because we're running the same program over and over and over again in our mind. Shifting a little bit, what are the benefits of self-love?
Oh, many. From better health, more well-being, happiness, but not happiness for external circumstances, inner joy,
mm-hmm.
feeling more connected, more in a state of flow,
mm-hmm.
being able to attract more abundance not in the financial only aspect, in every area of your life. I have when I was traveling, not now, but I had a lecture that it's loving yourself is the solution. And when I start the lecture, I invite the people there to say, tell me any problem you have in your life, and I'll solve it in terms of self-love. I'll tell you how to do to resolve it, because self-love is really the solution. It's the solution for addictions. It's the solution for unhappiness. It's the solution for the emotional, physical problems that we have. It's connected with everything that is happening in our life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Would you say even physical ailments? I think you just mentioned that.
Yeah, I mentioned that because after I went through experience of cancer, thyroid cancer, it wasn't aggressive. And the first workshop that I had was how to find your soulmate, as I told you. Then I created the fall in love with yourself because the business gravitated towards self-love. And after my cancer experience and everything I discovered, I took 1.5 years before I decided to go through the surgery in order to heal but the root cause of that cancer, not only like remove the part of my body that was they're not working. Then fall in love with your body was created from a perspective that behind every illness, there is an emotional component. And that with the relationship that we have with our body listens to everything we say. If I keep saying like, I'm fat, and then I start a diet, my body knows that I believe I am fat, and there is a disconnection there. Then I cannot lose that.
Yeah.
That extra weight. Then behind problems that we feel are very, very deep, like, for example, depression that I suffer also, anxiety, any physical ailments like, for example, all the autoimmune diseases.
Yes.
That it's we going against ourselves. That's the meaning of an autoimmune.
We're attacking ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. What I am doing in my lifestyle, in my way and perspective, my philosophy of life, in the way I am flawed. The things that are happening in my life, that I'm contributing to this physical. The body tends to come back to balance, but we sometimes are on our way. And of course, I'm not a doctor. This is a disclaimer. I'm not trying that you do something. I'm just sharing with you what I have discovered, and many other doctors and MDs also, not only energy healers, say that there is very important that you have a good relationship with yourself. Everything that you carry in your heart affects the physical heart. Yeah. Then everything that you cannot digest affects your emotions.
Right.
That affects your stomach and the digestive system. Then it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. And when we are stuck in that, and you made the reference to if you're trying to lose weight, but you have this belief that you're fat and it's not a supportive feeling about yourself. What ends up happening is we go into fight or flight. And one of the first things, because we've raised our stress level, because now we have this feeling of being attacked. And of course, we are the ones attacking ourselves, right? But our body doesn't know the difference.
Yes.
And one of the first things that shuts down when we are in fight or flight is our digestive system, which means our metabolism has slowed down, which means that we're not processing food quickly, which means even though we might eat a tiny little bit, we're not losing weight. So it has so much to do with what you're saying. If we can shift the mindset and say, I may not be where I want to be right now, but I'm getting there and I believe in myself. That's a whole different message that we're sending.
Of course. And I'm here to empower people, to tell you that you can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. That even if you have tried many times, there is a different way. There is a way. There is a loving way to arrive where you want to be. Like self-love is so powerful that you can transform any circumstances that you have in front. And even if it doesn't take you where you want to be, it will take you to a different place from where you are right now.
Right. And as you said earlier, it's a journey, it's a process, baby steps along the way that we do what we need to do to get there. And one of the best pieces of advice is to be patient with yourself, to be gentle with yourself. You know, that's part of self-love, to be forgiving. Yeah. So if you could give one piece of advice to people, and I know there are people listening right now who have had the experiences that we've talked about, where we're receiving messages as children that we're not lovable or that we're not important or that we don't care on a wide range, you know, people who are absolutely abused to people who are just not seen and heard the way they needed to be. What's the first step towards self-love, would you say? What would some advice be that you could give?
I will say a couple of things, but the one when you were talking was coming to my mind will be that the power of forgiveness allows you to move forward. And it's not a forgiveness that we have usually understood, like from a religious perspective, like you have to be a good person and you should forgive because then everything is okay. No, that's not the power I'm talking about. It's the power to disconnect, to be free from events of the past. Then releasing doesn't have to come God here and tell you you are forgiven. It's not about that the events will disappear. They will still be part of the story of your life, but they are not going to be actively still, like as a pattern, being involved in your life. Releasing is a process also, but it starts with awareness. If you observe yourself and you say, when something that happened in your past is still affecting your present, you have information of what you need to release. And then when this information comes, you can make a conscious decision of, okay, you are the past and the past is the past. I'm going to take a deep breath now. And I'm going to choose a different way of thinking about this. And slowly, it's going to diminish. The energy that it has is going to diminish. And you're going to be more ready to be present and focus in the now where everything is okay. Then you're going to learn that the past is not attacking you anymore. There is going to be like distance. And it's going to look like it's far away. It's far away. It's far. And you're not going to live from these ideas of who you were. You are going to be able to start building new ideas about who you are now. And asking yourself, who do I want to become? You are free to create your life. You come with certain baggage. Yes, okay, we agree on that. But let's, in the journey, see what is inside. What do we have inside of this suitcase? What we have put? And maybe sometimes we have to just let go of things that are not serving us anymore. Maybe things that we have inherited from our parents or even our ancestors or the country we were born or the religion that we had. Yeah. Then when we go through this process of allowing the past be the past and choosing what our values, what is our belief system now, and we pay attention with our mind, but with lots of kindness, not judging, oh, here it is the past. No. Oh, look, the past pretends to come back now into my present. Thank you, past, for the information, but let go. Like, you are not here, you are not invited.
Yeah.
When you do this with kindness into a process of awareness, with mindfulness, like looking but not judging, just observing yourself through loving eyes,
Mm.
with more heartfulness, like more love, your life gets transformed.
Mm.
And then you are ready to release in the moment. Don't accumulate. Don't put everything in the suitcase until it's too heavy. Just do it in the moment. There is a very nice prayer in the work that I do with the Akashic Records that it's to forgive. And it's very complete. I'll share it with you. And I hope that people can benefit from it. But it says, if there is anyone or anything that has hurt me in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it.
Mm.
If there is anyone or anything that I have hurt in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it.
Mm.
And if there is anything or anyone, if I have hurt myself in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it.
Beautiful.
Then it's about others, it's about what I did, and it's about me. You can't just say the part that it's important for you. Maybe you are angry with yourself because you feel you made a mistake. Then you can use the last two sentences, like, don't get angry with yourself. You don't deserve to be mad at you.
It's
You
beautiful.
deserve to be supporting and loving towards yourself.
Yeah, thank you. That's beautiful. It's almost like a rebirth, into yourself, or into, letting
clean slate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting too, when you talked about reincarnation and how, we've been doing this a lot, and this is just one of the experiences that we're having. We can actually do that in this lifetime by saying, what hasn't been serving me, I can choose to lovingly release and move toward what I'm meant to do in this lifetime,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the power of the unconscious, where we have like a storage of information there. It's so big in our lives. We think that we make conscious decisions, but your conscious maybe have a 5% power.
Right.
That's a lot of the power is taken by the unconscious. That's the reason why I had all these different tools. Like I do past life therapy regression. I work with dream interpretation, with the Akashic Records, because a lot of the problems that we have nowadays are connected with things that we already have experienced, as you were describing. Yeah. Some people get stuck in a pattern, but the pattern has been there, rooted for many, many, many lifetimes.
Right.
Poverty, woes, agreements, traumas that started a long time ago, problems in relationships. And it's very interesting that the universe will, like, once again, will put you in the same circumstances or similar to give you an opportunity to do it differently this time.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is what happens in many of the relationships, that we get stuck. Now we tend to attract the same kind of partner. Mm-hmm. Like, again, it's like, oh, I married and it looked totally different. And here I am stuck at the same point.
Yeah, sure.
Because that was exactly the person that you needed to be with in order to understand. Sometimes you say, oh, I'm with someone that it's like controlling or abusive or doesn't allow me to be myself. And you are here and your soul have chosen that you have to learn right here, right now, to love yourself no matter what. Mm-hmm. Then the person is going to put it difficult, but difficult because you have to say, okay, I cannot continue living like that. I have to learn how to set up boundaries. And I don't accept that you speak to me like that. Yes. And I have my needs and I have my desires and I am important also in the relationship. Mm-hmm. Then you find the strength finally to become you. Yeah. Or maybe not. Or maybe you abandon yourself and you deny the love for yourself just because you want to continue being loved by this person. Then the universe don't judge you. Just give you opportunities to say, yes, Judith, do you want to try again? Mm-hmm. Okay, here you have the chance.
Right.
And then you choose.
Beautiful. And I think that's such an important point too, this idea that whatever challenges we're encountering are really just opportunities instead of things that are trying to trip us up along our path.
Not all of them. I mean, there are people that are going through a lot and I don't want to generalize, but most of the little things that really upset us and most of the important issues that we have encountered, yes.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, there's always an exception. So, Judith, how can people find you?
Well, the easiest way will be to go to my website, judithmcosta.com. There is information there about private sessions, workshops, retreats, and the links to connect with me in social media are also, if you scroll down at the end, they can subscribe, and I will keep them posted about events and lectures and free stuff and blogs and all of this. And there is a contact form when my email is there and my telephone number. Then if there is anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate and connect with me.
Okay, beautiful. And I will have your links in the show notes so everyone will have them. Judith Costa, thank you so much for being on Self Talk.
Thank you, Rachel. Again, what a pleasure meeting you and having this conversation with you.